Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about 5 crucial habits to be aware of that may ruin relationships if we don't work to change them over time. Now, if you struggle with any of these habits, 2 amazing resources that you can use is you can check out our 7-day free trial to either our conflict resolution course or our communication scripts course, which literally has all of the scripts for many different challenges we may face in relationships, even based on attachment style. There's like 60 different scripts and scenarios that you can download. You can check it all out for free for 7 days, and you can see all these different tools that will help you overcome these different habits. You'll see most of these things are communication based when we really break it down, and communication is one of the most important things that affects our relationships as a whole. So the very first thing I want to dive into is stating a need in the negative. Oftentimes, something we'll do a lot in relationships that can really wear away at them over time is we'll say things like, you never XYZ, instead of saying something like, hey, I really need you to XYZ. Right? So we could say, you never do the dishes, instead of saying, hey, I need some support. Do you mind doing the dishes? And just the way we like illustrate that and communicate that, if that's a pattern, if that's a personal habit, it's going to create ongoing resentment over time between 2 parties in a relationship. And you may be on the receiving end of this, and then tell that person that as well. You may be the person who is always getting criticized in that way, as opposed to having somebody just articulate their needs in a healthier version. Number 2 is when we do articulate a need, if then we follow up by criticizing how the need was met. So let's say we say, you never do the dishes. And, and then let's say we work on it and we start saying, hey, I really could use some support. Do you mind doing the dishes? And then we follow that up by going, oh, but like they weren't that clean, or like you didn't dry them properly, as opposed to saying something like, hey, I really appreciate that you took the time to do that. Thank you so much. If we can let them dry a little longer next time, that would be awesome too. But like, I really see you took the time. Thank you. And so, we can still give feedback, but let's give it in like an appreciative format, because nothing, and I've, seen this working with many, many couples over the years, nothing really pushes people apart like being in a dynamic where somebody tries to meet a need and they go out of their way, and then it feels like it's nitpicked. It really can defeat the other person's energy and effort to even want to do so and feel motivated to do so and to keep meeting that need on an ongoing basis. Number 3, and this is a really challenging habit, and again, like you'll see these things really come back to communication a lot of the time, but when we expect somebody to mind read, right? When we have these expectations that people should know, people don't know. We have such a different patterning and programming at a subconscious level. We have such different needs based on our attachment styles, our beliefs, our fears, our worries. Like we have just such unique, individual experiences. And so sometimes when we think like, you should know that I need X, Y, Z, it can really harm a relationship dynamic as well. And what's healthy to do is to take an expectation and just to convert it into words, to convert it into a need. So if you're needing reassurance, or you're needing, to feel loved, instead of thinking if the person really cared about me, they would just do these things, try to think about it as like, well, does the person really understand that you have unique needs that may be different from their needs in a relationship? And if they may not understand, why don't I try just explaining what I need and sharing it in a healthy form, instead of it remaining as an expectation that I then, maybe push somebody away over when they don't meet, or think, spiteful thoughts about them if they don't meet, or pull away from them, or doubt or question the relationship. Let me always try communicating first. And it's very valuable to be able to convert what your need is into, or convert what your expectation is into a need, so you can package it nicely and communicate it. And a lot of the time we'll see the needle move in relationships just from simply doing that. And remember, if you want those scripts and stuff like that and resources, you can literally jump into the school, type in communication scripts, and see that course. And there's like a whole thing you can download that has all these different scripts that are available for different situations, how to package, how to approach different communication when you feel abandoned, when you feel afraid, when you are being stonewalled, like all different scenarios there for you to use. Number 4 is when there is dishonesty. This is a huge harmful dynamic in relationships. And the hard thing here is that sometimes people are dishonest when they just feel ashamed, or when they're afraid of being criticized, or when they feel not good enough. but how it's often received is something that can wear away at trust. So even if you're dishonest just about small things because you feel embarrassed about something, you feel embarrassed about saying you took the day off work because you were just tired. And so you say you went to work, whatever it might be. I've seen many different scenarios over the years between couples, and all those little things add up and they really create an impression there. So it's always important to work on like reprogramming our fears about being honest or sharing something if that's showing up for us, so that we don't have those like impediments in a relationship dynamic. And number 5, and this is probably one of the biggest ones, is when we shove things under the rug. There's a lot of couples that do this. Usually it's just simply a symptom of like not having tools to communicate, to know what our needs are, to work through things. But nothing will just like fill up our resentment tanks than not actually being able to work through and properly resolve problems and challenges. So this is really important. And so much of like resolving challenges means being able to see one another's perspectives, validate each other's opinions and feelings. Like you don't have to validate the point. You can disagree with somebody and say, I don't agree with how you behaved, but I can see that you were hurt, right? And just that is huge for just moving beyond a dynamic and for making one another feel seen, feel understood, and then being able to say, okay, what are our strategies to fix this from here and to brainstorm together? There's some really clear steps in our conflict resolution course. Again, you can check that out for free for 7 days. You can get through a course in the first 7 days if you put some consistent time in for about 20 minutes an evening. So check that all out if you would like to. But these are 5 things to really keep in mind if you are finding yourself going through just painful patterns in relationships where it's like disconnecting over and over again, not sure why. Check in. Are these my habits? Are these habits of somebody that I'm in a relationship with? And here are some tools and solutions for how to be able to move through these things. So I hope this is helpful to you. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.